Hello and welcome to our podcast Duo Dynamics Navigating Life and Business.
Hi, welcome.
Today our topic is
To have kids or not to have kids?
Yeah. So go ahead, Arijit. What do you want to say about this?
So, a little bit of introduction for viewers who are coming to our channel for the first time. So, my name is Arijit.
I'm
She's
Juhi.
Juhi. We are husband, wife, business partners, and we are also parents to two kids. So, this can seem like a bit of a counterintuitive topic, given that we are parents of two kids. But I think, or rather, we think that it is pertinent for us to share some views on the whole philosophy of having kids.
Yeah.
See,
Or not having kids, yeah.
yeah,
Both.
having kids or not. So see, while we are married for almost 14 and a half years, we've chosen to have two kids. Thankfully, we have a fairly fulfilling partnership. But we also understand and recognize that to have a fulfilling partnership, having kids need not be the only way.
Right.
Okay, and as our society is progressing, we see more and more people having a divergent view. While they might be looking for a life partner, but they might not be ready to commit themselves to parenting.
Yes. And I think the society needs to, accept that easily. We don't have to have those social stigmas attached to, oh, बच्चे होने चाहिए कि नहीं होने चाहिए.
Yeah, so which is what we want to talk about today. I think it should be left to the concerned parties कि बच्चे करने हैं नहीं करने हैं. So we thought that we should give some perspective on the pluses and the challenges that we have felt as parents of two children. Our kids are 10 years and 4.5 years old. So why don't you go ahead, Juhi, and give your perspective on what are the pros that you have seen of choosing to have kids?
Okay, so for me, I think having kids really helps you in your own personal growth. मतलब जैसे आपके the moment you become a mother or a father for that matter, your own personal journey starts. आप अपने अंदर बहुत सारे changes नजर आते हैं, not only physically, but I'm saying a lot of emotional changes that you go through, and then you realize certain things which you would have never thought of earlier. आपकी जो सोच होती है वो बदलती है. आप एक बच्चे के पर्सपेक्टिव से अपने डिसीजंस चेंज करते हैं और आपके कुछ सपोज if I have an anger issue, my anger issue will start getting resolved because I really need to take care of my child and not be angry at the child. So as a person, I think it is a lot to do with my own personal personal growth and development after having a child. That really helps.
I kind of resonate with that. I think it's a great opportunity to stretch yourself, but the process is definitely not pleasant.
Yes.
Like she said, if you do have an anger issue, you will see that getting magnified once you become a parent, because it's challenging. Children who are young, they will cry for no reason. You will not get why they are crying, why they can't behave like adults, why they can't be rational. But the fact is that they won't, because they are growing up, they are kids. So how do you kind of handle your own emotions? So your negative emotions would really get protracted in the journey. So it's not a pleasant experience, but that's where one has the opportunity to grow as a human being and expand. So yeah, it's a challenging way to expand yourself, but definitely that is an opportunity. If I have to kind of give my perspective, I think it's joyful to be with children. Obviously it's challenging when they are cranky, but I think they're so pure. When they are in a good mood, when they are playing with you, when they want to be with you, I don't think that there is a more pleasurable spiritual experience that you can have as a human being.
And at the same time, I think when they are not, happy and playing around with you, they give you a lot of stress, and it is a big responsibility to manage kids. It's not easy. It's just
Sure.
not easy.
Yeah, so I think one has to be clear that like marriage is not easy. If you've chosen to get married, it's not because you want just the easy stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, any good stuff would come with its own share of challenges and your ability to make it work ongoingly. Uh, the other aspect of having children, which can be challenging, is let's face it, finances. Your expenses will increase. You'll have expenses in the area of healthcare. You'll have expenses in the area of children's education. So that's a reality.
And in urban setups like Gurgaon, where we stay, I think the cost of play areas, these play dates, they cost a huge amount of money. So, and every time you're going out and to a mall only, you end up spending 1,000, 2,000 just on those small little activities that the kids have to do. And at the same time, because other kids are doing, they want to do it, you would not want to say no to them. At the same time, but we don't say yes all the time. But at the same time, I think we should let the kids realize the value of money as well. So वो भी हम करते हैं साथ साथ.
तो ये सब है responsibilities, जैसे जूही ने कहा, how do you instill the right values in the child or in your children? So there is constant responsibility now. It's not about only your own life and your own conduct, but you have an inherent responsibility to pass on the right set of values. You also have a kind of responsibility to provide a reasonable platform for the child in the form of education, so that the child, once they turn into an adult, can be productive, can have a fulfilled life in all aspects. So I think responsibility aa jati hai. You are always under the scanner. As a parent, you should be okay with being criticized. बच्चा अगर किसी और से लड़ाई कर ले तो आपको ये सुनना पड़ेगा कि माँ बाप ने क्या क्या शिक्षा दी है. And that doesn't change. If your child is 4 years old or 40 years old, be ready to be under the scanner all your life about your children's behavior.
Yeah, at the same time, no matter what you do, kids will turn out to be the way they want to turn out to be.
Yeah, so that's also another thing. You can't really control the destiny of your children. You might think that you can, and in that process, a lot of parents kind of become very controlling. So-called helicopter parenting is what is in these days, mostly because a lot of couples in the urban cities choose to have one child and they want to ensure that their child turns into a superhuman. So there is a lot of additional pressure that parents take on themselves for whatever reasons, but we are not going to get into all that. But yes, things can become more stressful, challenging. It can bring in new set of criticisms from your family members, from your known people. So you should be okay with being under the scanner, being criticized, no matter how good a parent you are.
And apart from that, if you have to talk about not having kids, so I believe it's a choice.
So before that, before we move to not having kids, I want to expand on, the benefits a little more.
Okay, go ahead.
I think it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to see a child grow, and that's a magical opportunity. At every stage of the child's life, there is something new that you can look forward to. When our first child was a toddler, an infant, there was a new kind of experience. Now she's 10 years old, it's a new kind of experience. The bonding that you get to establish with your children is very unique. And I think it's a great opportunity to see a human being grow, to participate in that human being's growth, and hopefully these bonds that you create with your children, they can't be replaced. They kind of remain very unique in their own ways. They transition from being a relationship where you're fully responsible for the child, and by the time the child turns into an adult, potentially they become like a friend of yours. So I think it's a great opportunity as a human being to witness another human being's life and be responsible and participate in that growth and development. I think that's a unique opportunity which no other relationship provides. However, having said that, we are very happy being parents to 2 kids, but it was our personal choice.
To have kids.
And now, Juhi, maybe you can talk about why people can choose not to have kids.
And it is absolutely okay not to have kids. I mean, ऐसा नहीं, this is social stigma कि अच्छा शादी हुई है तो your in-laws, your family starts pressurizing you, okay, why don't you have kids, बच्चे कब होने वाले हैं. So I think we should not put couples in this space where they're pressurized to have kids. And also I've seen multiple times where people are not ready to have kids, and then they have kids, and then it becomes really
Stressful.
stressful and the frustrating for the mother especially, because she was not prepared for it, but the in-laws or somebody in the family pressurized them, and they had kids, and then the if the mother is not happy, how can the kid be happy? She can't even take actions or do things that will make the kid happy. And I have an example where the marriage actually turned sour because they were not prepared to have kids, and they had.
Yeah, it's a lifetime's commitment. ऐसा नहीं कि आप एक टीवी खरीद के लाए और पसंद नहीं आया तो कल वापस कर देंगे. So it's a commitment of a lifetime, and to make this commitment to oblige anyone else can become very very challenging and stressful. So that's the point that Jui is making कि बच्चा करना है तो अपने full choice से कीजिए, अगर नहीं करना है तो अपने choice से कीजिए. So we can give an example. We had our first kid after 4 years of our marriage. 2 years into our marriage, we were really being forced by one of our elders that no, now you should have kids. But we had aspirations. Like I wanted to do a full-time MBA. We were just 2 years into our marriage, so we wanted to spend a little longer, as a couple without children. So we chose to wait for 4 years before we went the family way. So yeah, you'll have to figure out how to navigate these stakeholders. They're all well-wishers, but they have their own biases. कि यार शादी हुई तो बच्चा होना ही है, बच्चा होना है तो पहले 2 साल में ही हो जाना चाहिए. Now we see a lot of couples choosing to have kids after they have turned 35, 40, after 10, 12 years of marriage. They are at a certain point in their career. They prioritize their career to reach at a certain stage, and now they choose to have kids. And I think that's also perfectly fine. While people might have views about biological clock and comments like अरे तुम्हारे बच्चे जब तक बड़े होंगे आप तो दादा दादी लगोगे, I think that's okay. Those are complete personal choices. And if somebody wants to have a kid at the age of 40, that should be fine. And there are various ways to be a parent now. If not, natural conception is not possible, there are various other ways like adopting a child, going for surrogate, etc., etc. The point that we are trying to make is if you choose to have kids, do it with your full choice and not under any kind of pressure or obligation.
And societal pressure.
Yeah, and if you choose not to have kids and be just a couple, perfect. And I'll tell you the kind of so-called benefits that you have is you have a lot more flexibility. Today, if you have to uproot yourself and move to a different city, to a different country, with kids who are growing, etc., you do get tethered. Thinking about children's education, how would they settle in a new environment? So all of those considerations come in. So you are not so flexible or footloose, I would say, if you have growing kids. You can choose other kind of passions to follow. You can travel extensively. You can choose to work remotely in a vocation that allows you to and go and work from any remote location. अब बच्चे बड़े हो रहे होंगे तो वो पॉसिबल नहीं है क्योंकि स्कूल के वेकेशंस जब होंगे आप तभी वो सब कर सकते हो. इन्वेस्टमेंट बहुत है, इमोशनल इन्वेस्टमेंट बहुत ज़्यादा है. फाइनेंशियल तो आप छोड़ दो, इमोशनली you have to be really invested in these relationships, and they take a certain level of gumption and commitment. तो and it can lead to stress. It can lead to stress if you can't manage your mental health. So you can keep yourself away from all those stresses. While you might have other kinds of stresses, but ये kids related stress नहीं होंगे आपको. So yeah, if you choose to kind of not have kids, you can have more flexibility. You can pursue other kind of passions.
And you can grow a lot in your career. I mean, you can focus on your career, which a lot of people want to do these days.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely fine. It's a choice that the individual is making for themselves.
Right.
So they should have the right to do that.
Yeah. Not saying that with children you can't grow in your careers, but yeah, you have to maintain a balance.
For women, they do get more flexibility in terms of growing in their career if they don't have kids. That is a reality. That is a reality.
That's a reality as of now, no matter how much we would want to change the reality as we go forward. But for women, invariably the way our society is structured, they tend to take a back seat. Either they go into a lower paying job or a low involvement job, or if they take a 4 or 5 year break, and then to get back into the same kind of career trajectory is very difficult. So yeah, if you choose not to have kids, then there is lesser chances of discontinuity in your career. That gives you greater opportunity to create financial freedom as you move ahead. तो वो सब कुछ है. And if you're doing it with your full choice, then it's good. You shouldn't be in parallel universe. You know what we are trying to say is, अरे करना तो है, but I'm stuck with my job, and I don't want to give up my career, but I also want to have kids. So to take a position, ठीक है, take a position, and maybe you can make everything work out. You know, again, not trying to sound very patronizing, but we have figured out a middle path ourselves. You know, we are very ambitious.
It is possible
Yeah.
to have kids at the same time manage your career.
Yeah.
But there are times when there's a lot of pressure from the family, and the structure of Indian setups is like that. That a lot of people, if you see, a lot of people reach managerial level. A lot of women reach managerial level, and after managerial level, you rarely find women in the boardrooms. So that is where the gap is.
Yeah. So I think unless the employers become more friendly, more empathetic towards the challenges of a young mother, this constraint remains the way our society and our professional structures are set up as of now. But what I'm saying is, see, it is possible to do both. As you know, I was just trying to say that we are extremely ambitious. That's why we are in business. We are not in business just for time freedom and all of that. But it allows time freedom. It allows ourselves to lead life with a little more autonomy, and it is helping us balance both. It is helping us balance our time with kids, and it is also helping us attain our financial aspirations by creating mechanisms, like building a team which can work for us while we might not be having to work 24/7. And obviously, doing a business has greater pay potential and has a greater risk potential also. It depends on whether that's something that you want to do. We go through our own set of highs and lows, but we have chosen to do this because we think that holistically it allows us to have the life that we want to have at this stage. So yeah, parting message from us. There is no single template to have a fulfilling partnership. You can have a great partnership with having loads of kids, and you can have an equally good partnership by choosing to have no kids.
No kids, right.
So the message is that make your full choice. And the third one is choose to have kids whenever you want. You want to have kids at 50, that's your choice, no problem. Okay, there are no biases that you should go with. You should be responsible for those choices. That's what we will leave you with. That there is no single template to build a great partnership. Be the driver of your own destiny. That's what we will say. The only person who needs to be aligned to this is your partner.
That's it.
So that's what we wanted to convey in today's episode.
Yes.
Hope this was useful for all of you. Thank you so much for listening in, and we will come back with a new episode sometime soon.
Yes, I'm happy choosing.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.